Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish, speaking to you from Midtown Manhattan, New York City. Bennett Doyle back in Memphis producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready for All-Star Weekend. It's here. Finally, it's here. I don't know if it's going to be any good, but I think we probably need it. It's a good time to break. I think we could all use a break. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. The next segment, Michael Wallace, senior editor, Grind City Media. He's going to join me. I'll talk to him about all things Grizzlies, all things All-Star Game Weekend. Michael Wallace is going to join me. He'll be here in the next segment. Finish talking to Mike. Go take a break. Come back. Do 5 more things you need to know. At which point we're going to discuss 5 more things you need to know. Going to be 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Penny Hardaway's Tigers back on the court tonight. It's going to happen down in Denton, Texas. Memphis at North Texas. It's the Mean Green. We'll get you ready for that. We'll do it in about 40 minutes. In college basketball last night, the story was probably P.J. Haggerty's coach crashing out. Kansas State got crushed by Cincinnati at home. Sad scene inside Bramlage Coliseum. Then KSU coach Jerome Tang, he said, the hell of a thing to say. He said none of his players deserve to wear that purple, and very few of them will next season. Damn. Things are getting bad. They're getting bad in the Little Apple, Bennett. If you got 2 minutes, I'm going to show you his press. That's all you need. If you got 2 minutes, I'm going to show it to you, but that's all you need because the entire press coverage was like roughly 2 minutes long. It was, sad scene at Bramlage. I'll tell you more about it. We'll do that in just a bit. The Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame has announced the 21 finalists for the class of 2026. Mark Few, Kelvin Sampson, Amari Stoudemire, former Memphis commitment, Blake Griffin. They are among the nominees. We'll spend some time on that a little later on in the show. College football story that has rocked the Big 12. BYU receiver Parker Kingston. He's been charged with felony rape in Utah. He is being held right now without bond. And this all happened, this all happened 4 days after he announced his engagement publicly to another woman at a BYU basketball game. ugly story. I'll give you some of the details, not all of them, just some of them. We're going to do that in the third segment. And rest in peace, James Van Der Beek, famous actor, dead at 48, cancer, of course. I'll get Bennett's thoughts on the much too soon passing of James Van Der Beek. We're going to do that during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we will eventually do GP's Carryout. And we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because game 53 of a scheduled 82. It was played last night in Denver. Final score: Nuggets 122, Grizz 116. As I explained earlier in the week, we are now living in a world, whether you want to or not, we are now living in a world where up is down and down is up. It's true that less than a month ago, this franchise still had a core of Ja Morant, Jaren Jaackson Jr., and they beat the Magic in Europe. And, buddy, we were all excited and daydreaming again. But then Ja Morant got hurt again. A 6-game losing streak followed. Tripp was traded to Utah. He's now being shut down. We'll get to that in a second. Ja wasn't traded. He's still here, but it's only reportedly because nobody really wanted him. So now we're reduced to rooting for losses instead of wins in the spirit of getting the best draft pick possible. And so in that regard, last night was a win. And if you'll stick with my line of thinking here, the Grizzlies are now, Bennett, the Grizzlies are now on a 4-game winning streak with the All-Star break on tap. Big Bet Bennett, it's good to see you on this Thursday morning. Hand to heart, I think just as much as Jalen Wells or KCP, I think you could use the All-Star break, this All-Star weekend. You looking forward to it? How you feeling? Are you looking forward to resting a little bit?
I'm looking forward to All-Star weekend. I will consume all of the festivities and enjoy it as best that I can. I want to say about what we're talking about here. I've seen a lot of people using the term ethical tanking. I don't love that. I prefer the term honest tank. Ethical tanking sounds dirty. It sounds kind of evil. I don't like that. It's just we're honest about our situation. It's just an honest tank.
Sometimes you got to be honest about your situation.
It's just an honest tank. We don't have to worry. We don't have to talk about ethics. Okay? No, it's just the situation. We're honest about our situation. That's all.
Sometimes in life you got to be honest about your situation, regardless of what your situation is, whether you wanted it to be your situation or not. I've been on this earth long enough, Bennett, to know that sometimes things don't go the way they were supposed to go. Sometimes things don't go as planned.
Yeah.
This was not the plan. This is not how I expected to spend February 12th. Is this how you expected to spend February 12th?
It absolutely was not.
Absolutely was not.
It absolutely was not.
This is not the way we were supposed to be spending February 12th, but this is where we're at right now. Bennett, at some point in life, you got to look up. You got to go, all right, this is where I'm at right now. This ain't where I planned to be, but this is where I'm at right now. What do I do now? How do I get out of this situation? How do I make this as good as it can get? And the truth is, once you're in this situation, from a basketball perspective, at least in the NBA, once you're in this situation, the best thing to do, the smartest thing to do is just start stacking losses. Whether it's ethical or not, honest or not, the best thing you can do is just start stacking losses. And so last night was a good night. I don't know that you had the best time listening to every bounce of it with Eric Hasseltine, but last night was a good night.
Well, I actually did because it was a compelling game. Like, they didn't get blasted. They were in it. They had a chance to potentially win the thing. And I think that's that's the positive to me. Like, I always root for my team to win. I was rooting for them to win last night. But I understand the situation, and I understand what works out better for them. I totally get that. But they were competitive with a good team last night on the road, and so it was fun. Like, I enjoyed watching or enjoyed listening to it. And I thought there were some positive things to take from it from some of the guys. So,
Hey, if you want to make me feel good.
I feel good coming in here today.
Okay, Bennett, if you want to make me feel good, tell me the positives. Give me all your positives.
Well, Ty Jerome has been awesome in literally every game he's played in. So
he is
awesome. Like, that is one thing. When he was brought here, it was to be a spark off the bench for the Grizzlies. Now he's in an expanded role in that starting lineup, and dude, he has been great. Like, that is a guy on that contract that I really hope they bring back next season. It's a good contract. He's a good player. If you want to get right back to being competitive next season, that is a guy I want on my team. So that's the one positive. Scottie Pippen Jr. has been good in his return. He wasn't great last night in limited minutes, but there's some good things to take away. Our rising stars, I know Sed didn't play last night, and hopefully we'll get to see him tomorrow night. I don't really know his status right now. Was a knee soreness. So I think you could maybe look at that as a positive, that he was out with knee soreness instead of knee contusion or something like that.
Or Lindsey Vogn's knee.
Exactly.
He's not sidelined with
Yeah.
Lindsey Vogn's knee. It's just sore. Basically, Cedric Coward's knee feels like my knee. It
Yeah.
is structurally sound but sore. He'll be fine.
Omax has been great lately. He can hit threes now, which is, I don't know if people realize that, but Omax can hit threes now. That's pretty good. That's a pretty nice development in this situation that we're in. And then it was also, dude, my heart was warmed last night when it was a tight game down the stretch. Kyle Anderson fouled out because he had to guard Jokic and Valanciunas all night. So understandable that he fouled out. But, dude, it was kind of cool seeing Kyle Anderson on the sidelines, coaching up the guys and yelling at them and stuff and telling them where to be. I was like, man, it's good to have slow-mo back in the franchise. And he said some really nice things about Memphis the other day, and I was just like, man, it's cool in this situation that we're in to have a guy like that seems to actually enjoy being here. So I like that too.
You know what? You sound good, Bennett. You sound positive and good. I was worried about you. I've been thinking about you and worried about you, but you sound good. You sound positive. Shit, you sound better than me.
I was a little down after the Golden State game because I didn't know how honest that was, but at the end, this felt honest. It was a good effort, and I'm happy for the guys even in a loss, and I hope they remain competitive.
The fellas played hard, but
Yes.
fell in defeat. That's kind of what we're looking for right now. This ain't the conversations I expected to be having with you on February 12th. If somebody had gone back to media day and they'd have said, GP, I can see into the future. And I said, okay, that's neat. What you got?
Yeah.
And they said, it's going to be February 12th. It's going to be the Thursday before All-Star Weekend. Okay, what you got? And they said, Bennett's going to try to talk to you about how Omax can shoot threes now. I'm going to go, Jesus, Lord, what happened? What happened? You're telling me it's February 12th? We're heading into All-Star Weekend. Bennett's trying to talk to me about Omax shooting threes? That's where we're at. Talk to me about Jaren Jaackson Jr. Oh, GP, you don't even want to know. You don't even want to know.
I just saw the bad news about Jaren.
Let's go there right now. Breaking news from Chris Haynes this morning. I mean, it happened right at the top of the show. Utah Jazz star Jaren Jaackson Jr. is likely to miss the remainder of the season to undergo surgery on his left knee to ensure his long-term health after a localized PVNS growth was discovered post-trade, league sources have told him. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what a PVNS growth is, given that I never even heard of that thing 13 minutes ago.
Are we just making things up? Hang on.
Now it's a part of my life because I just read it to you, but I don't have any idea what that is. PVNS. You could change those letters to GKLR, and it wouldn't make any difference to me. PVNS growth. I don't know what that is, Bennett, but educate me.
It is pigmented villonodular synovitis. It is a slow-growing tumor that causes the joint lining to thicken and produce excessive fluid, often leading to pain, stiffness, and joint damage.
Jesus, that doesn't sound great, does it?
It doesn't sound great. I mean, when you hear the term tumor, that never sounds great, but I don't think it's like the kind of tumor that we think of when we think of tumors. It sounds like he's got some fluid in his knee and they need to get the fluid out and then let him rest on it for the rest of the season.
How often do you sit around thinking about tumors?
More often than you might think.
Oh, no. I didn't mean to push you to a bad place.
No, I mean, anytime you feel something on your body, as you're getting older, you're like, oh God, here it is. Right?
The word tumor is scary.
Yes.
Yes. I can remember, this is going to be one of those stories I probably told you, but I know I ain't told this one too often. And certainly haven't told it in a while. But when Aiden was very young, he had a issue where he was just drinking an inordinate amount of water. as a child. And it was like, what? Like, this is, and he was just peeing through his diapers nonstop. I mean, just like you would wake up and he would be just covered in,
pee.
Yeah, that's the word. And so we were like, we got to figure this out. What's going on? And they, the first step is like, well, stop giving him water at night, Stop giving him water at night. So we're like, okay, we'll stop giving him water at night. We probably should have thought of that on our own. And he would go crazy. He needed water. So we found him one time literally scooping water out of the toilet to get it. Because we were like, no more water. You can't have water. So it was like he would get out of bed and go to the toilet and get water out of the toilet.
Oh, wow.
We caught him outside one time in the backyard getting water out of the water hose because he needed the water. So we're like, this is not normal. In fairness, my wife diagnosed this with Google before the doctors actually. She was like, is this diabetes insipidus, maybe? And they were like, no, that's so rare. But it actually was. Okay? So then we find out that, and this is an oversimplification of the whole thing, but then we find out it's either hereditary or it is possibly caused by a tumor. And so we have to get an MRI. And when the results are back, they are either going to tell us that my son has this condition and it's hereditary and it'll just be something he has to live with for the rest of his life, but not, broadly speaking, not that big of a deal. Or it's caused by a brain tumor.
Jeez.
We'll call you in a little while.
I'm sure that was a fun few hours.
We went to Chuck E. Cheese, I remember. And, I mean, buddy, nerve-wracking. Absolutely. Just like you're just terrified. Because that word tumor just scares you to pieces. We found out it was hereditary. It comes from his mother's side of the family. And if you're ever at lunch with us, you'll notice he drinks a lot of water. But he's otherwise perfect.
Good.
But, yeah, I just remember hearing that tumor, and that word is scary. And so it doesn't sound like this is that kind of scary, but it is something that's going to keep him sidelined perhaps for the remainder of the season. And I bet you the Jazz don't even mind it that much because they didn't want to play him anyway. They wanted to have him moving forward, but they didn't want him to play this season. And so now this makes all that easier.
Oh, and they've won 2 in a row. Like that is not good for what they're trying to do.
No, they won 2 in a row, and then they texted Jaren. They were like, "Hey, man, you got to go get surgery." All right, that's enough. Hey, we thought you came from Memphis and you were just going to keep losing. All right, what are you doing? You got to go get surgery. I doubt that's the way it really went down, but
doubt that's how it went down.
But it's fun to think about. All-Star Weekend is.
Yeah, I mean, his first game back his first game back here is our first game back from All-Star break, and so that's obviously disappointing that you won't get to see him play. But if you want to go there too, I'm sure he will probably be there, and you'll be able to see the video and all that stuff. I would think he would be there. I don't know. He's getting surgery. Actually, now that I'm saying that, he might not be. Who knows?
Oh, I think it'll be okay either way.
Yeah, we'll see him at some point.
Did you see KD's comments last night?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so he was asked last night. Houston played post-game. So it's last game before All-Star Weekend, and it's a big topic of conversation, KD. You're one of the faces of this league, a legend, undeniably. Are you going to compete? Are you going to play hard? Are we going to be entertained during All-Star Weekend? And you know what Kevin Durant said? He said, you should ask the Europeans and the world team if they're going to compete. If you look at Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic, let's go back and look at what they do in the All-Star game. Is that competition? So we haven't questioned what they've been doing, but we're going to question the old heads, the Americans. But these two dudes out there, Luka and Jokic, they don't care about the game at all. These dudes be laying on the floor.
Okay.
They're shooting from half court. But you've got to worry about the old heads playing hard? I can read between the lines, bro. It's just an overall topic that everybody's been talking about. What do you make of that?
Respect to KD, because that sounds to me like someone trying to get people fired up for the All-Star game. I like it, man. Let's talk some trash. Like let's get people motivated for the All-Star game. I think he's doing his part here.
Okay, so that's interesting. You took it that way. Here's the way I took it. Here's the way I interpreted that. I interpreted that as Kevin Durant looking at a reporter and saying, "Why are you asking me, an American black man, if I'm going to play hard this weekend. Go talk to the other people that don't look like me. This ain't a me problem, and this ain't a me and LeBron problem, and this ain't a me and LeBron and Steph problem. It's just as much a Luka Doncic problem and a Nikola Jokic problem as it is our problem, but I don't ever hear you asking them about it. So why don't you go ask them about it? Ask them if they're going to play. What are you worried about me for? That's the way I took it.
You're probably right, but I think maybe he unintentionally lit a bit of a fire here. This is a good thing. This is a good thing, man. We want these two teams to not like each other and want to play hard against each other.
I think that's true, but I don't know that's what we're getting here. I think what we got here is two teams that aren't interested in playing hard. They're and completely uninterested in you asking them about it.
We're about to find out. We're about to find out.
I don't think they're getting fired up to play hard. They're tired of being questioned about it. That's the sentiment I got from it. Wimpy was asked about it, and he said he's going to compete. He said, I'm going to compete. It's a basketball game. I'm going to be out there. I'm trying to win. If I'm playing you in chess or basketball, I'm trying to beat you. I'm going to compete. So they took that quote to Kevin Durant. You know what KD said? We'll see. He said that last year.
By the way, this is why they should have put Dillon Brooks in the All-Star game. That would have solved a lot of your problems. You should have put Dillon Brooks in the All-Star game.
If we cannot go with Nick Wright's suggestion for All-Star game, which would definitely work, although obviously can't go down that path, but it work. Dillon Brooks would, he'd make somebody mad, and then that person would play hard, and then you'd at least have two people playing hard.
He's not going to come in a game and let people just run layup lines on him. That's not happening.
I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Everybody says it ain't happening, and then you get to the game, and it just is what it is every time.
I don't know. He's a bit different. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? Let's ask somebody smarter than both of us about this. Let's get Michael Wallace in here after the break. I'll ask him.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball. But the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board. A class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
The long goodbye begins. A very special evening with Journey. Final Frontier Tour. Journey. Tickets are on sale now at journeymusic.com. Your chance to say goodbye to the songs that changed our lives. Journey. Final Frontier Tour.
Welcome back. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South. I'm in New York City. Been a Doyle back in Memphis producing the program, and I'm joined now, like I am every Thursday, by Michael Wallace, senior editor, Grind City Media. Michael Wallace is GP. How you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing okay. I'll figure it out in a few minutes once they give me the diagnostic back on my vehicle that's getting checked out. There's a post-trade issue that was discovered on my vehicle's left knee. So we'll see
no.
Damn.
Oh, no. I will tell you this. I have a test.
Well, but I'm here for a service, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Oh, I hope it goes well. I will tell you this. Like I think most people know I have a Tesla, and I don't like the political stuff that is connected to it. Like I bought it before it became that type of thing. And I only bring this up because you're sitting where you're sitting. But like my wife has a different type of car, and I swear she has to take it in for service. It feels like every 3 months. It's like some light comes on and she got to take it to the dealership. And I have had my car now 2+ years. I've never done anything to it. I just drive it every day. Nothing. There's no service. There's no. I've never had a thing with it. So you were sitting there today, like dealing with that. My wife sits there like that and just for whatever it's worth, in the car that I have, there is no such thing as service, as far as unless I'm just ignoring it because everything seems fine. So that is that. Let me ask you about also.
Unless you just let the battery run dead and you leave it in the garage for 2 weeks.
Of course. Okay, that's a problem. Yes, you got to keep it charged. That's a problem. But outside of that, it just seems to be problem free for the most part. Anyway, All-Star Weekend is here. And we're right back to having the same conversation we have every year. Last night, Kevin Durant asked about, are you going to compete? He seemed to be bothered or at least frustrated with the question on some level. On one hand, Mike, I also would like to see something compelling from All-Star Weekend. But when I yell that out loud, if I'm being completely honest with you, I feel very old and very white because it feels like I'm yelling at younger people of a different color for, the most part, to hey, go play hard. And it feels like as soon as I get done with that, I need to start yelling about Bad Bunny, just to keep it consistent. That's what it feels like to me. Because on one hand, I would like to see something compelling, and that comes from an honest place. On the other hand, and this is the point I always circle back to, I work with former NBA All-Stars, people who have been in this thing. And you know what they say? To a man, regardless of position they played, race, anything. You know what they say? Bro, by the time you get to Sunday afternoon, you are worn out. You don't want to play. Everybody's tired. It's not what you think. It's not like we're out there just going through the motions because we don't care. Everybody is tired, and we just want to get back to whatever we're doing. Just go with that wherever you want to go with that.
I buy into that, but it also tells me about the nature of what the modern athlete, the mindset is. Because guess what? Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan were tired in 84 or 85 when Jordan was frozen out. And the Eastern Conference basically teamed up on him not to pass him the ball. And there was, intrigue and there was competition. I'm sure, those guys were tired in 92, 93 when Magic Johnson came back. And they played a compelling game after he came back after his diagnosis with HIV, right? And those games were compelling. I remember Kobe Bryant and the Shaquille O'Neal All-Star battles, especially once Shaq went to the East and they were going against each other. I was in Orlando when that one happened, and they found a way to keep it compelling. I think just over the last 10 years, this has been more of an issue because these guys get paid an astronomical amount. Their shoe companies have paid them. They've gone through all the parties. It's more of a marketing thing than it is a competition weekend. And really, the NBA's All-Star Weekend is broken. It simply is. And they have to figure out a way to fix it. And Adam Silver is going to have a lot of issues on his hands to address, from the All-Star game competition level to participation to, all the scandals that are going on around the league at this point. And then obviously this latest issue of a third of your league just not playing to win games at this point too. So there's a lot of things to address in the NBA right now. And I wouldn't want to be in Adam Silver's shoes when he takes the mic, the podium, maybe later today or tomorrow.
I wouldn't either, because he's going to be faced with a lot of questions, and there are no great answers that he has. He's a smart guy, but he's got a lot of issues that have not been properly addressed. And he's going to be asked about all of them, from the broken All-Star Weekend, which I agree it is. a third of your league is tanking right now. As Mark Giannotto, a former Memphis-based columnist, pointed out on social media this morning, like, why doesn't the NFL and Major League Baseball and the NHL have this problem to this degree? You need to look at that. So you got a third of your league that's not even trying to win. Your players tell us they don't care about the regular season. Your players tell us they don't care about All-Star Weekend. Like, what do you care about? And it's a rough spot to be in when you are asking, particularly in a country where, you know, people are struggling. It's hard out there for folks right now. You're asking people to pay real money to come see your product, but at the same time, you're telling them a third of us aren't even trying to win. In some cases, our best players aren't even playing. Our best players around the world tell us, outside of Wemby, they don't really care about the regular season. Oh, by the way, they also don't care about All-Star Weekend. Oh, by the way, they also think it's crazy that you would ask them to work 2 days in a row. Like, at some point, it's like, yo, man, what do you guys think you get $50 million to do? Go do this. You know, I bet, like, I'm on Broadway right now. I promise you there are, like, hundreds of performers who are like, I don't want to do this stupid show again today. But that's the job. That's the job. You got to do the job. And these guys don't even like saying stuff like that. These guys, I get caught up in these little things. Too many people don't seem to want to show up and do the job as you imagine every single day. And it's a problem for the NBA.
As contracted, right? That's part of your contract. I mean, you are invested in the league. And I think what we've done and what we've gone to over the last, decade to 2 decades is that these players have become their own individual brands more so than they've taken or embraced the collectivity of what they have to represent in terms of the league, right? Now, granted, I mean, look, Michael Jordan cared more about Michael Jordan and his Jordans than he did about the NBA, but he was a winner. He wanted to be on the floor 82 games every season as much as he could, and he did. I think with the exception of Giannis and some of the things that he's going through with Milwaukee, this is an American basketball player problem. It's an American superstar basketball player problem, more so than it is a basketball general issue. And sometimes when people get caught up in who's saying it versus what needs to be said, I'm always like this. If the truth needs to come my way, it doesn't matter who's slinging it. Like, bring it to me. Right. I'm not going to say, oh, you can't say this because you're an old middle-aged white guy and I'm less willing to hear it from you than I am from somebody that looks like me. No, the truth is the truth. The NBA right now has some real serious issues from the fact that, and it's ironic that Adam Silver, among everything he has to address, is the fact that the All-Star Weekend is in a city hosted by a franchise that still hasn't resolved the issue that came into this season with Kawhi Leonard and the investigation into Steve Ballmer and everything that went on with the Clippers and Kawhi. Like, come on, man. Like, some of these fires need to be put out. And the NBA has done a great job of doing that in the past. Right now, they're struggling with it. There seems to be more fires surfacing than they are being put out when it comes to this kind of thing.
That's exactly right. There seem from month to month, you seem to add problems more than solve problems, and that's an issue for the league. Breaking news this morning connected to Jaren Jaackson Jr. He's likely going to miss the remainder of the season. Going to have surgery after a localized PVNS growth was discovered post-trade. I'm not going to ask you to pretend to be a doctor, but just, that's a guy we know, and he's going to have surgery now, and he's going to not play basketball for a little while. And even if it's not serious, that's not great.
No, it's not great, man. And if you're talking about Jaren Jackson Jr., this is now at least four surgeries or procedures that he would have had to have in an 8-year career, right? The foot, the knee, the toe, and now the knee again, right? If I'm not mistaken, I could be one off, but it's 3 to 4 surgeries that this guy will have had. And that's not, and this one doesn't seem to be serious. Obviously, what jumps into my mind, my cynical mind, is under most circumstances, and I've covered the league long enough to know this, when you see something like this emerge, specifically a week after the trade deadline, guess what? Utah should be calling the NBA and saying, hey, we didn't know about this. This obviously was something he was dealing with in Memphis that didn't surface. Let's rescind the trade. But you know what? They're not interested in doing that. They want to keep Jaren Jackson Jr. They want to have another reason to hold a primary player out so that they can continue to do what they're doing, and that's increase their lottery odds, and they're going to move forward. That cuts at the integrity of the game. That cuts at the integrity of what you're trying to do. And again, if Utah wants to do that, so be it. I wish nothing but whatever comes their way when it comes to competition from that standpoint. They shouldn't be rewarded for this kind of practice that they're doing. But at the end of the day, man, that's their franchise, and more power to them.
Here locally.
But if I'm Jaren Jaackson, I'm leery of getting cut on again when I just came out of surgery this past summer. So that means another summer is going to be sidelined by, surgery. Even if it's 3 months or whatever, you still going under the knife at this stage in your career, and durability has been an issue for you. Like at a certain point, all of this stuff, man, it's just kind of mind-boggling.
At some point, and these things, even if they're all minor, or most of them are minor, they are all procedures, and they take a toll. They take a toll on you. They take a toll on your body. Like I work with Wally Zerbiak. He had a lot of knee surgeries. And like Wally and I are the same age. I know we don't look it from here to here, but we're the same age. And if you watched him walk around, he can't run. He can't jog.
Yeah.
Do you know the last time Wally Zerbiak played basketball? This is a fact. The last time he was in the NBA. He does not play pickup. He does not get in the gym. I mean, he works out and stuff, but he's immobilized in some way, or at least he walks around like an older man, because he had so many surgeries on the same knee, and it can take a toll. So when I saw that this morning, just obviously not ideal for Jaren. Even if this specific thing is minor, collectively these things can they can hinder your career. Let's hope it doesn't too much for him. Let me ask you about Ja Morant. He's still a member of the franchise. He's still sidelined. Do we ever see him in a Grizzlies uniform again?
It's looking like my guess is no. You know what I mean? My guess is no. And with the way things are going right now, there doesn't seem to be any incentive for him to come back and put on a uniform and play the rest of this season. And then if you get to the finish line and go into the summer, and you can start making trades, and the trade windows open back up as soon as the regular season ends for teams that are not in the playoffs, deals can be discussed right then and there. So if the anticipation is that he will still, be one of the top names that resurfaces in terms of summer trades, then yeah, I think we've seen him for the last time in a Memphis Grizzlies uniform. The question now is, will he still be around? Is he better off training on his own and away from the team? Is there a purpose for him to be on the road around these guys? What does he want? What's best for the team at this point? Those are all questions that need to be asked, and I think some answers will start to surface coming out of this All-Star break for sure.
Obviously, we'll let the front office and Ja Morant's camp handle that decision-making process. But from my perspective, like this is just my perspective, but from my perspective, if he's not going to play, and he's not going to be a member of the franchise moving forward, like after this offseason, I don't understand the reason he needs to be traveling with the team. Just let him sit at home or sit wherever he wants to be, and then deal with this when you need to deal with this. But I don't need to see him on the bench every night. If he's no longer going to be a part of this franchise, I don't need to see that. It's just weird, honestly.
It is. It's weird. It's awkward. And then there are times when, I'm just like everybody else, man. When they flash to the bench, as many times they flash to the bench, the first person I'm looking for is Ja Morant and his reaction to different things, right? Is he sulking? Is he happy? Is he, going through whatever in terms of supporting teammates? Is he helping with the coaching staff? And so what you have to wonder is, at a certain point, man, where is his mental health? I go back to 3 years ago, Taylor Jenkins, when some of the issues first surfaced about Ja Morant being sent away, Taylor at that time said, look, the guy needs to be around us for his mental health. That's the reason why he's back. Even during the suspension, he needs to be around. And I don't know if that's still the case now, but it would seem to be at that time, he was still looked at as a long-term part of your future. Now, that's not the case. It's like they're both kind of being forced to sit in a room for arbitration or something. And I don't know if that's healthy for anybody involved from that standpoint, but we'll see. Like, again, I know Ja loves to travel. I know he loves to be around his team. I know his camp posts up at every single city where they're on the road. So he has his security, he has his social media team, he has his family, and even when he's not playing, he still has those things. So I don't know how much that goes further. It's kind of funny. The first trip that they go on post All-Star break is to Miami. so it might be a one-way ticket there, and then he posts up in Miami and chills for the rest of the season. I don't know. We'll see, man.
You touch on something that I do think is important, and I hadn't really thought about it from this perspective, in regards to whether he should travel or not, be around or not. I don't gather Ja Morant is ever without people, but you can still feel lonely. You can still feel like you're detached from everything you thought that was important to you. And there is a report out there, and it didn't come from Shams or Chris Haynes, so I don't know the validity of it. But there was a report out there I saw people sharing that was like Ja Morant was surprised nobody wanted him at the trade deadline, and this is an eye-opening experience. And so whether that's true or not, I do think it's probably like a look in the mirror moment, or at least it should be. Whether it is or not, I don't know. But it should be like, yo, man, you're 26 years old, and the whole NBA just told you what they think of you, and it's clearly not what you think of you. How did you get here? How do you get out of here? But that can be a hard thing to deal with. I don't care how much money you got and how many people around you got. Internally, I imagine there's at least with me, there would be a struggle going on. I'd be struggling right now, and I do think that's something that probably needs to factor into any decision-making process.
It is. It's tough. It's tough. I think what it is a opportunity for a lot of people within the organization, within Ja, within himself, within his camp, to kind of look in the mirror and realize, man, look, how did we get here? Like, how did we get here to where one of the 5 most talented basketball players on the planet is sitting on a bench in Nike tech suits every night, getting healthier, and looking like, he's trapped inside of this world of unhappiness, no joy, right? Just sitting on the bench for a team that he obviously could help if he's healthy. But yet the market just wasn't there to either unload him or for anybody to say, hey, I'm willing to make this trade. Let's make it happen, when there's a bottom basement bargain for him right now. And yeah, that is humbling. I do think some of the challenges, first and foremost, was that Ja Morant did not have an experienced agent representing him that has the league-wide connections, where they can sort of finesse some of the backdoor meetings and some of the backroom meetings. When trade talks stall, you have to have an agent that knows how to reach out to the assistant general manager over here or the secondary owner with this franchise and try to get some support to make this deal go through. They did not have that. And I think that's a big time look in the mirror for all those people who are around him from that standpoint. It's also, again, there's some lessons that the Grizzlies can learn in this. And I hope that all sides learn, because, again, this franchise is going to move forward. Ja Morant is 26 years old. He still has at least 5 to 7 more productive years of his career ahead of him if he takes advantage of it now. That next contract is still out there waiting for him. And I hope for his sake that he can get there. I hope that the Grizzlies can pivot forward and get the assets that they need. And then both sides can be better in their next chapter from here.
That is Michael Wallace, senior editor, Grind City Media. He's on X, at my mic check. That's at my mic check. Terrific stuff as always, brother. I appreciate you. I will see you next week when I get back in town.
If I'm driving something, man, hopefully.
I hope so, too. Good luck out there.
Right.
I'll see you. Bye-bye. That's Michael
Thank you, brother.
Grind City Media. He makes a good point about the representation, because well-connected agents can manipulate things and make things happen in ways that otherwise are difficult. In other words, if Ja Morant were represented by, I don't know, Rich Paul or whatever, if he were represented by Clutch can pick up the phone and call Miami and say things like, hey, listen, I know you don't want to attach a first-round pick in a Ja Morant deal, but, like, listen, we need you to put this on that, and then I'm going to help you with this. I'm going to help you with this other thing once we get to July. I know who you want. You know I got influence there. I'm going to help you with this thing if you help me with this thing. Like that, it doesn't guarantee anything gets done, but it can push it in that direction. You watch the second round of a draft, And every year there's somebody who gets picked, and you're like, what? Why'd they get picked 48 there? And it's like, who represents them? Well, this agent represents them. And this agent also has this player, this player, this player, this player. Right. Oh, he's just doing him a favor. Like that's a real thing in sports. And Ja didn't have that. And so there's just no leverage in that regard when you're going through this process. And I say this respectfully, but that's just a miscalculation on Ja's camp's from their perspective. Like they put themselves in a bad spot as it pertains to trying to work through these types of situations. They'd have been better equipped to get through it in a more positive way if they were represented by, say, CAA or Clutch or one of the big boys that deals with this type of stuff on a daily basis, has dozens of clients, and can call in favors when you need to call in favors. I don't know that there's anybody currently in Ja Morant's camp that can call in favors around the NBA, and so here we are. Let's move on. Hey, Penny Hardaway's Tigers going to be back on the court tonight. Hey, we're playing the Mean Green. You ready for the Mean Green?
Hell yeah, I'm ready.
Hey, did you see what happened in the American last night?
Buddy, I am locked in, okay? I am locked all the way in.
Hey, we got to find something to care about around here. We can't care about a Western Conference race anymore.
You see my Tigers gear. Like, let's go. I'm locked in tonight.
Can we care about an American Athletic Conference race? Can we get ourselves to a position where we're like, you know what, we care about this. Let's beat the shit out of the Mean Green tonight.
I can absolutely care. Yes.
Okay, Bennett, let's do it. Let's take a break and let's come back and let's get fired up about Tiger basketball tonight. We're in a conference race. Let's get fired up.
Grind City. Got uninvited house guests? When it comes to bugs, we don't bluff. We Terminex it. Don't let a pest problem spin out of control. Our pest-free 365 Plus plan protects against up to 39 different kinds of pests. Even better, Grizz fans can take $50 off by visiting Terminex.com and enter code SAVE50. Terms apply. With more than 95 years of experience squashing pest issues big and small, we're set to square off against the toughest bugs out there.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
I risk my life to tell y'all these truths.
Cat Williams is back. Brand new material, a new tour, and the same legendary laughter he's delivered for decades.
Nick Cannon got 136 children, Jesus. Did you know that?
Always classic, always Cat.
White people are friendly. You can call them at 3 o'clock in the morning with the wrong number and they won't even be mad at you. Hello? No, I'm sorry. No Shaquita here.
The Golden Age Tour. March 6th in FedEx Forum. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled. And Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. And that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturday. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's OrthoSouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
All right, Bennett, let's try to get fired up.
Let's
it's
go.
Memphis at North Texas tonight,
Yep.
8 o'clock on ESPN. We're doing it inside. Do you know what North Texas gym is called?
I'm going to say it is the I don't know what it's called.
No, you couldn't even guess it.
I was going to say Dickey's Arena, but I know that's not true.
Dickey's Arena is a whole different place.
Yeah.
You know where the Tigers are playing basketball tonight?
Where are we playing?
Inside the Super Pit.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That's a cool name.
That's a neat name. I listen, that I shit on the conference a lot, but Super Pit is cool. I mean, I just got to give it to them.
Let's pretend like I'm the play-by-play guy and you're my color analyst, and we're getting ready. We're setting the stage on ESPN tonight. I'd say, hello, everybody. I'm Gary Parrish. This is my partner, Bennett Doyle. Coming to you tonight, Memphis, North Texas, live from the Super Pit. That sounds good.
That does sound really good. Yep.
I'm Gary Parrish. This is my partner, Bennett Doyle. We're coming to you tonight, Memphis, North Texas. It's a big AAC matchup from the Super Pit.
That's a nice intro.
You want to try? You do one.
No, I'm good.
You can do it, Bennett. I got.
I'm good. I appreciate it.
Hey, so last night was a big night in the American. I don't know if you were paying attention.
Of course I was paying attention.
Okay. South Florida won. That's not great for us, but we ain't mad at them. We'll deal with them when we got to deal with them. The big result, UAB 68, Tulsa 63 in Tulsa, handing the Golden Hurricane their 4th conference loss of the season. So right now, Bennett, if you look at the AAC standings, here's what we got. South Florida at the top alone, 9-3 conference record. And in second place, Tulsa at 8-4. But if Memphis wins tonight, inside the Super Pit, Memphis will move to 8-4 in the AAC. And at that point would be tied for second in the league standings with Tulsa just 1 game back of the USF Bulls. I didn't ever want to be trying to scrap and claw to finish above USF and Tulsa in a conference race in the sport of men's basketball. This ain't ideal, but we are where we are. We're at where we're at. I'm ready to get excited about something. We got an 8 o'clock tip tonight on ESPN. Let's go win the game.
No, for sure. And the thing, too, is you get to play South Florida twice, so that's good. So you got to take care of business tonight against North Texas. Then you have the big game at Utah State, non-conference game this Saturday. Go take a shot, see what happens. Which, by the way, I'll say that. We got to get through North Texas first. We got to go win a road game at North Texas. That's first and foremost.
I see what you're doing. You're counting chickens.
Dude, because here's the thing, man, is if what we were sitting here doing early in the conference schedule is, okay, well, the season's gone bad. They're not a great team. Maybe we'll see what happens when they get in the conference tournament, but how optimistic are we? Listen, but now, obviously, we know that at-large hopes, that's completely out the window. But if you get some of these wins, and if you keep moving up in the conference standings, then you can actually be excited about the conference tournament. Like, it's no longer a discussion of, let's get to the conference tournament and see what happens. It's, oh, wait, they might have actually really improved this second half of the season and have a chance to win this thing and get back to the NCAA tournament. Like, the conversation is just more fun. The games are more exciting.
That's it. I don't want to be whatever. I just want something to be excited about. Like, I just want something to look forward to. I just want something to care about. I wanted it to be the Grizzlies all season. That's going to be tough. You know where we're at. And so, has this Memphis season gone the way we wanted or anticipated? No. Has the Penny Hardaway era gone the way we wanted or anticipated? No. But, they're playing a game tonight. It's on ESPN. If they win it, they'll move to second place in the conference standings, and they got 2 games left on the schedule against the team that's in first. They could win a conference championship. Yes, it's a conference championship in a conference that stinks. It's a conference that rates 10th in the country behind the Mountain West, Atlantic 10, West Coast Conference, Missouri Valley Conference. None of this is great. But, like, what's the alternative? It's February 12th, 2026. Bennett, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
I want you to get fired up.
I'm trying.
I want you to get fired up. No, and because the thing is, too, man, is like, okay, again, you want to win tonight, but you win tonight, then you go into a really big game on Saturday against a really good team or a good team.
No, a good team. A good team.
A good team. And, like, dude, if you somehow, like, can win these next two, then I think you get fan interest back. Like, I would think and hope that more people show up to these home games the rest of the season. Like, I do think that you can get people back quickly with this stuff. You just can.
It won't come in droves. It won't make FedEx Forum look like it's 2008 again. But you can make my mom text me to ask me what channel is the game on.
Mm-hmm.
All right? We just need to get back to that. You need to get my mom back on board caring about what's happening with Tiger basketball, as opposed to her texting me saying, I don't care about this team at all. Yeah. You need to get start with my mom. Get her back. Get her back on board. Get her back texting me, go Tigers, go. And, yeah, you win tonight. You move to second in the standings, and then you take a shot Saturday at Utah State. And just to reemphasize what we're talking about here, Utah State is good. 25th at KenPom right now. They're 21-3.
Mm-hmm.
And when you turn on the television, CBS Sports Network on Saturday, you're going to see something that looks like I'm not saying it's the same, but in terms of just the visuals, it'll look like Cameron Indoor. It'll look like Allen Fieldhouse. It's going to be jam-packed, students going crazy, and if you're able to go upset them there, and you probably won't, let's be honest, KenPom right now projects them as a 14-point underdog on the road at Utah State. But if you are able to go up there and somehow win that game, it's going to look the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiger basketball fans that will be watching it will be like, okay, we went on the road. That's a real team. And that's a real crowd. And we won that game. And if you win that game and you win the North Texas game, at that point, you would be on a 4-game winning streak. And, hey, let's go. So a 4-game winning streak heading into a game at South Florida where you could move to first place in the conference standings. This isn't hard to get excited about. I'm doing it right now.
I am excited. Like, this is frankly this is the most excited I have been to watch a conference game all season.
There you go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So here's the plan. I'm going to fly home today. And then I'm going to settle into my house, and tonight with my family, we're going to turn on Tiger basketball and pretend it was better times. But we're going to turn on Tiger basketball, and we're going to get excited about Tiger basketball tonight. You win this game, you move to second in the standing. Then you go to Utah State, take a shot on the road against a top 25 KenPom team. Win that game, you're on a 4-game winning streak, headed into a game against South Florida with first place in the AAC on the line. Let's go.
Let's do it, man. Let's
do it. All right, I'm into.
Number 2.
Oh, man. Did you see this last night?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So I was in studio. This game was on our air last night. We had a doubleheader. This was the second game. Cincinnati at Kansas State. Big 12 showdown between two coaches who have really been going through it. If you remember, it was just last week.
It was, yeah, when we played the video of the Cincinnati coach, yes.
Wes Miller, Cincinnati coach, who was like nearly crying in a post-game interview while apologizing to fans. I understand you're frustrated. You deserve to be frustrated. I'm sorry. He literally said, I'm sorry. He approached fans who were booing him in the tunnel at the arena and walked over to them and said, I'm sorry. He literally was just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've let you down. I'm sorry this isn't going well. And then added, but I am a human and this is hard. And I'm, I was worried, not worried in any sort of real way, but just like,
I got you.
I wanted to hug him. Like, man, And so that's Cincinnati. That's the Cincinnati season. So they go to Kansas State last night. Kansas State season, well, they were 1-9 in the Big 12 heading into last night's game. Now they're 1-10. Spoiler alert. 91-62 was the final score. The Cincinnati team, whose coach nearly cried last week and apologized to fans for not being great at this season, went into Bramlage Coliseum and beat Kansas State by 29 points. dominated them. The students, the visuals are crazy. There's students in the student section with paper bags on their head. I've been to Bramlage. When it's good, it's great. That was sad last night. And then Jerome Tang, the Kansas State coach, fourth-year coach, had a post-game press conference. And we're just going to show you the whole thing.
Okay.
If you got 2+ minutes, Kyra, let's show Jerome, because this is a wild press conference. You don't see these. This is how you end up on the homepage at cbssports.com. Even when you got a bad team in the Big 12, you say things like this. It's an interesting clip. Kyra, let's watch it together.
Hey, I'm gonna honor Christ like I always do. Blessed to do this, but this was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year. I'm embarrassed for the university. I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. You know, it is just ridiculous. We got practice at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will get this thing right. I have no answer, no words. So y'all got 2 questions. So whoever want to ask 2 questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability right now. But right now, like I'm like pissed, and this is all right. Questions.
I guess it's just kind of puzzling if you look at your road and home splits. The last 4 road games have been down the wire. You run off the court. Just kind of explain that.
Yeah, I don't know. I asked the staff this week that same question, and they said that more the opponents. You play. I don't know, because I followed Minnesota last year closely, and they played great on the road and struggled at home. So then they started staying in hotels at home, like treating it like a road game. And so I even talked about, hey, do we need to change that change? But no, none of that crap matter, man. These dudes got to have some. They got some pride, man. They got some pride. It means something to wear a K-State uniform. It means something to put on this purple, man. Everything this university is about and all that it's been about, why I love this place, man. They don't love this place, so they don't deserve to be here.
Just what did you make of the student section with paper bags on their heads?
Yeah, I'd wear a paper bag too if I was them. Thanks a lot, fellas. God bless.
Damn.
Rough stuff.
Whoa.
That's PJ. By the way, that's PJ Haggerty's coach, former Memphis Tiger. And part of the reason this is spiraled on him, Jerome, is because this. I don't know if you watched. I know you were busy last night, but UConn played Butler, and it was at Hinkle in Indianapolis.
I saw the press conference.
Okay, so Dan Hurley's there, and obviously Butler's been struggling, just like broadly speaking, with the move to the Big East. You got to remember that was a Horizon League program when Brad Stevens was coaching it.
Yeah,
and they go to back-to-back championship games, and then it's like, okay, the A-10's interested in Butler, and then it's like, okay, now the Big East is interested in Butler, and then suddenly you're Butler and you're in the Big East and you don't have Brad Stevens. Good luck. So they asked Dan Hurley, it was local media in Indianapolis, like, hey, what do you think Butler needs to do to, turn this thing around, get competitive? He said they need cash. They need money. And that's a big thing in the Big East for some schools. Like at St. John's, UConn, they got all the money. But then I've heard Dan Hurley say this about Seton Hall, about Butler. It's like, hey, Dan Hurley, face of the sport, what do you think Shaheen Holloway needs to get things turned around at Seton Hall? He needs money. You guys, even Rick Pitino last year, when he had a former Seton Hall player as one of his best players, you know what he said? Rick Pitino said, Kadari Richmond does not want to play for me instead of Shaheen Holloway. He loves Shaheen Holloway. So if you're like, but he left Seton Hall. You know why he left Seton Hall? Because I got crazy amounts of money to give him. Shaheen can't give him the same amount of money I can. So don't blame Shaheen Holloway for losing Kadari Richmond. I just had way more. Give Shaheen more money, and then I could bring Kadari in here right now. You know what he'd tell you? I would rather play for Shaheen Holloway than Rick Pitino, but it's way more lucrative to play for Rick Pitino. So that's why he plays for me now. So you've got coaches constantly making these points. Here's my point. That's not the issue at Kansas State. It's not a money issue. They spent money 2 years in a row. They went out and got one of the highest priced transfer portal targets available. 2 years ago, it was Coleman Hawkins from Illinois. I believe it was multiple $1 million. They stunk last season. If you remember the visual from the end of the season, it's him crying in a locker room. It's him crying in a locker room because it got so ugly because of the money that he couldn't deal with it anymore. They go out and do it again. Coleman Hawkins out. We got all this money. Let's give it to P.J. Haggerty. And now they're struggling. 10-14 overall, 1-10 in the Big 12. And this is where the criticism starts to really stack up because people know, hey, you had the money to go out and buy a good team, and you don't have a good team. Why? And this is when people start, because that's the quote that's going to get, pulled out, posted everywhere. These guys don't deserve to wear these uniforms, and very few of them will next season. The next question is will you be coaching the guys in those uniforms next season? Because his career got off to an incredible start. First off, let me just say, Jerome Tang is one of the best. I hate that it took me this long to get. I love that guy. I've known him for a long time. He obviously was an assistant with Scott Drew at Baylor for a long time. Finally got an opportunity to be a Division I head coach at the high major level. His first job, Kansas State. Year one, they went to the Elite Eight. They were a win over Florida Atlantic away from going to the Final Four in year one. They lost to Florida Atlantic. Same year that Memphis lost to Florida Atlantic.
Yep.
Since then, it's been bad. But what happened is that between that Elite Eight and this point in time, the Arkansas job opened. And before they knew they could get John Calipari, they were really pretty far down the aisle with Jerome Tang. And then Kansas State came back with a crazy contract. Don't leave us. You're the hottest coach in the country type of thing. And so now he's locked into a big contract. So KSU has to make a decision about that.
I got you.
It's not as simple as, do we want a new coach? It's do we want to pay all this money we're going to have to pay to get a new coach? But part of the reason the criticism has gotten so heavy now is because all the fans know all of this stuff. They know what you're getting paid. They know what your players are getting paid. And they don't understand why they can't get better results than this. And so I know sometimes we get caught up in our own stuff. Like Penny Hardaway is struggling at Memphis, and he holds these press conferences, and he says things, and he sounds frustrated and sometimes defeated. But this is going on all over the country right now in different places. Syracuse, it's bad right now. I mean, they played at what used to be called the Carrier Dome last night. It looks like FedEx Forum right now. There's nobody there. That's the Carrier Dome. Carmelo Anthony played there. They won a national championship there in my adult life. It's bad right now. Kansas State, bad right now. So just don't ever think if you're a Memphis fan, you're the only program dealing with problems, because at Kansas State they got big problems now too.
Man, and I saw the crash outs over PJ Haggerty. And I mean, listen, I don't fault the guy, but we acknowledge that the money was comparable. I know it was probably worse at Memphis, but it was comparable to what he got at K-State. And, man, that fan base is not happy with him at all. I saw some dude say he's got the same look on his face every game, I just got 25 points. What do you want me to do? It's just, I don't know, man. Again, people have different motivations and things like that. But, dude, you come back to Memphis and, you're a legend here. People love you, man. You showed some loyalty, and people embrace that. I look at guys I've mentioned him a lot of times because he's up here a lot. But dude, a guy like Will Coleman, who is just a decent college basketball player, who after his college years stayed in Memphis, and people love that guy.
He quite literally has a job because he played for the Tigers
and took care of that guy. And yes, man, it's just I don't know. Again, I don't know what your motivations are, but I can't imagine you thought it was going to be like this.
No way you thought it would be like this.
Yeah.
This is not hyperbole. PJ Haggerty's name and number could have hung in FedEx Forum. Could have. I mean, he's a second-team All-American. If he comes back and is a first-team All-American this season, by the way, in the AAC, he was going to score and do all the things he was going to do.
Of course.
It really just come down to, is Memphis good enough for him to be an All-American? Because he was going to be good enough to be an All-American. And if you're a two-time All-American at the University of Memphis, your name and you win, and like he would have been a conference champion, you know? If you're a two-time All-American, two-time conference champion at Memphis, your name and number might really hang inside FedEx Forum. And now he's going to be a 4-year basketball player who spent 1 year at TCU, 1 year at Tulsa, 1 year at Memphis, 1 year at Kansas State. He will matter nowhere. He will have a lot of money, but he will have mattered nowhere. He has no legacy anywhere. He can't ever take his kids back to a campus and be like, celebrate it. You don't matter anywhere. You just were a mercenary basketball, which is fine. Like, I bet his bank account looks good. I hope it does. It should. But I do think they can do whatever they want. I'd like to think I would be a little more aware of that, though I probably wouldn't at that age. It's much easier to be aware of all this stuff at 49 than it is at 22. So I should always.
You probably will have regrets later in life. That's true.
Yeah. You know, it's much easier to see that, to have that perspective from my place in the world than it might be from a 22-year-old's place in the world. I just, you know, I was 22 once. I know the things that matter to you at 49 don't matter to you at 22, and vice versa. So perhaps I'm speaking a little out of turn. But I would like to think that that would factor into the equation somewhere. Mm-hmm. Like, where am I going to, like, I always thought about this with Hunter Dickinson. He was at Michigan, and he was an All-American at Michigan. And if he'd have just stayed at Michigan, he would forever be an All-American at Michigan who goes back to Michigan-Ohio State football games with his family, and he takes selfies all day long, and it's just, you have that for the rest of your life. You are Hunter Dickinson. Every time you step foot on the Michigan campus, somebody wants to take a picture of you and tell you how much you meant to them. And you just give that up. He transfers to Kansas, and it's fine. He made a lot of money and scored a lot of points and grabbed a lot of rebounds. But Kansas fans don't care about him. Michigan fans don't care about him. He will not matter anywhere in that regard for the, you know, in the ways that, you know, if Elliot Perry walks into FedEx Forum at a Tigers game, he can do that for the rest of his life, and he will always be Elliot Perry. Like, one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player from my childhood. He'll be that forever. He'll matter in that place on that campus forever. And a lot of college football players and college basketball players right now, because of the transfer nature of everything, they're not going to matter anywhere. And PJ Haggerty's a great example of that. Incredible college basketball player who will have no lasting legacy anywhere. He will have made a lot of money and scored a lot of points, but what does he even call home? I have no idea.
Right.
Number 3.
The Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame announced yesterday 21 finalists for the class of 2026. Among the names listed, Gonzaga coach Mark Few, Houston coach Kelvin Sampson, former Memphis commit Amari Stoudemire, former NBA Rookie of the Year Blake Griffin. Amari Stoudemire, I don't know that he's Hall of Fame worthy, but it randomly came up the other day. John Rothstein, my colleague at CBS Sports, they've got this social media thing, like in the spirit of content creating, where they're getting the social people at CBS Sports, like Rothstein, just to sit down with anybody, and he'll just tell you everything he knows about you. It's incredible. He has an unusual mind. I think that's the nice way to say it.
Yep.
He remembers everything. Okay, like he will sit down with Roy Hibbert, and he can talk about Roy Hibbert's entire college career. Well, you know, Roy, it was February 17th, 2007. You guys were at Syracuse. Like, he remembers everything. He remembers things about you that you don't remember about yourself. So anyway, we were doing one of these things, and he was doing it with me. And it was spurred. I just walked in the studio, and they were like, hey, John, you want to do one with GP? And he's like, yeah, let's try it. And I'm like, well, do what with GP? And they're like, you just stand next to John. This is really what it is. I guess it'll be published at some point. Stand next to John, and he's just going to say everything. He's just going to try to tell your life story. No notes, no prep. Let's just see what and so he's like, This is Gary Parrish, grew up in the Memphis area, went to the university. He just starts telling my life story, just on things that he's heard about me over the years. It's crazy to listen to it because he gets to one point and he's like, and I remember when so-and-so from Syracuse went on an incredible run all the way to the Final Four, and Gary wrote a column about how this is sort of a win-lose situation for the Orange because congratulations, you're going to the Final Four, but you're probably losing Malachi Richardson because now he looks like a first-round pick. And it was just a great column and he looks at me and I'm like, I have no recollection. I don't remember the game. I don't remember the column. But he remembers that for some reason. Yeah. So anyway, we're going through all this. And he's like, he got his basketball start covering John Calipari's Memphis Tigers and I only bring this up because he said it just like this. Early on, they recruited a lot of players who never actually came to campus. And one of those was Amari Stoudemire. I told the story. The Finch Center, which is no longer the practice facility for the men's basketball program, but it's on the edge of campus. Like the edge of campus. Like you're standing outside the Finch Center, you're on campus. Take one step this way, you're off campus. So the way the NCAA rules were written back then was that when players came in on unofficial visits, prospects, you couldn't – there was no media involved in that. I couldn't just, show up to the practice facility and go talk to Kendrick Perkins on an unofficial visit. It could not be organized by any staff member, and nothing could happen. There could be no media contact on campus. But this is America, and if you just happen to bump into somebody – who is the NCAA to tell you can't talk to them? In other words, I'm not allowed to talk to a basketball prospect on an unofficial visit on the Memphis campus, but if I happen to be at the airport and I saw a prospect and I was just sitting next to him on the plane, who's the NCAA? Tell me I can't talk to this person I'm sitting next to on the plane. So do you know what I would do all the time? I would stand. It was just sort of like there was somebody's yard there's a sidewalk and a house and a yard right across the street from the Finch Center, and I would stand on that sidewalk and just out of nowhere, guess who would show up? Amari Stoudemire or Kendrick Perkins or you name it. Any unofficial unofficial visit for Memphis basketball. How about that? I would just know at a certain time I was supposed to hang out on this sidewalk across the street from the Finch Center, which is technically off campus. And wow, there's Amari Stoudemire. This is crazy. Hey, Amari Stoudemire, I'm Gary Parrish from the Commercial Appeal. Can I talk to you about how it's been going in Memphis? And so that's the way. I interviewed so many future pros who never played at Memphis, standing across the street from the Finch Center, technically off campus.
Well, we had him in studio, and he told that story, and it was fascinating, just about Cal recruiting him and all that. I will say, man, just as far as his NBA legacy goes, I will forever be convinced they would have won that 2007 championship if he wouldn't have gotten suspended for leaving the bench in the Spurs series. They would have 100% won because remember the Spurs won that finals over the young LeBron Cavs team. The Suns would have done that. They had MVP Steve Nash.
Okay, Bennett. Okay, you're trying to put Amari Stoudemire in the Hall of Fame. I see what you're doing.
Yeah. I love Amari Stoudemire. I'm a big fan. Yeah, I
forgot about that. We had him in studio.
Yeah, man. When he's being honored for the MLK Day symposium.
Yeah, I've maybe been around Amari Stoudemire in real life 3 times in my life. Once outside of the Finch Center when he was a teenager. Another time in studio with you, and then another time I just randomly remember this. I was, I think, in Atlanta. Maybe New York, but at the Delta Sky Club at one of the airports. And I was just like, I got an hour and a half. It was a Sunday morning flight. I've got an hour and a half, until departure. And so I just pull up to the bar at the Sky Club. Give me a vodka drink. And guy walks in. I remember it vividly like this. We were watching, I guess it would have been a Saturday morning then, because we were watching Serena Williams in a Wimbledon final. I remember that. So I'm sitting at the bar watching Serena, having a drink, probably eating a sausage link or something. Guy comes, sits down, 2 seats next to me. What's up, Amari Stoudemire? So we sit there and watch Serena Williams together, me and Amari Stoudemire.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
And that's the extent of my Amari Stoudemire stories. I got no more. That's all I got. Kelvin Sampson. You got to put him in the Hall of Fame, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so, too. I would love – Kelvin and Mark are 2 of my favorite coaches in terms of the people I've been around a lot, got to know over the years. incredible careers, and I would love to see both of them get into the Hall of Fame in this class. Kelvin, just to run you through some of the bullet points, think about this. 70 years old now. He has more than 800 wins at Montana Tech, Washington State, Oklahoma, Indiana, and now Houston. Been to 3 Final Fours, been to 1 national championship game. He's won National Coach of the Year awards in 4 different seasons. 9 conference championships, 9 conference tournament championships. Totally rebuilt Houston from a dead program to one of the sport's best. He's had 5 top 5 finishes at Ken Pom in a row, headed for another right now. This is the craziest. This is year 3 in the Big 12 for Houston, the best basketball conference in the country. Year 1, Houston won the outright Big 12 title by 2 games. Year 2, won the outright Big 12 title by 4 games. Big 12 record right now, Houston has played 49 Big 12 games to this moment, 2+ years. What do you think the record is? Big 12 games, 49 games. What's the record?
Man, I will say, man, they've had to have lost some. This is probably too generous. I'll say 40-9.
44-5.
That's insane, dude.
Insane.
That is insane.
Insane.
And that's why he deserves it, because I think I remember saying to you when they went to the Big 12, I was like, okay, like this is going to, they're still probably going to be competitive because he's a great coach, but it's going to fall off a little bit. Like it's a great league that they're going to.
There is no distinguishable difference between their AAC records and their Big 12 records. The teams in the Big 12 are better. You're playing Kansas, Iowa State, Arizona instead of East Carolina, Rice, and UTSA. But the records are the same. They just beat everybody. It is crazy. So Kelvin absolutely belongs in the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame. And then Mark Few, I mean, what? 2 Final Fours at a small private school in Spokane, Washington. 22 West Coast Conference regular season championships. 20 West Coast Conference tournament championships. AP Coach of the Year in 2017. NABC National Coach of the Year in both 2017 and 2021. Mark Few should be in the Hall of Fame. Kelvin Sampson should be in the Hall of Fame. Hopefully they get good news when we announce the actual inductions closer to the Final Four.
Number 4.
Well, this is the ugliest story you've ever heard.
What's going on?
Have you seen?
I have not.
Okay. You don't know this one?
No.
Okay. So there is a wide receiver at BYU named Parker Kingston. He was their leading receiver like this season that just finished. He was the leading receiver.
Okay.
I don't follow BYU football, so I never heard of this person before in my life until yesterday. But he's a real, Big 12 college football player, Parker Kingston.
Gotcha.
He actually went viral over the weekend because he was at a BYU basketball game with his girlfriend, now fiance, and they flashed on like the Jumbotron. And she showed her ring. Look.
Yeah. Okay.
That's Parker Kingston and his girlfriend. They were at a BYU game announcing, that's February 7th, announcing their engagement publicly. Big ovation. Everybody's happy. 4 days after that picture was taken, Parker Kingston yesterday was arrested and charged with first-degree felony rape from an incident that allegedly happened last February. He is now being held without bond in a jail in Utah, facing serious allegations.
Damn.
Okay.
Held without bond, too. That's...
Okay. There's a million different ways to talk about this. Let's talk about it from this perspective.
Let's do it. Okay.
Kyra, throw that picture back up there. What do you do if you're that woman? You have been dating and been in a relationship with a man that you clearly love. I'm assuming, had no idea this was ever a thing in his past. It's possible she didn't even know that he was being investigated for this. BYU has said they had no idea this was a thing until yesterday. What do you do now? 4 days ago, you announced your engagement publicly. Now your fiance is in jail for felony rape. I'm certain he's telling you he didn't do nothing, but he's in jail on felony rape. What in the world? Can you imagine?
And I'm looking at it now. I mean, this was a year-long investigation before
Right.
this
It doesn't
arrest
sound
was
good.
made. Yeah.
It doesn't sound
I mean,
good.
it said this line right here: detectives with the St. George's Police Department gathered digital and forensic evidence. They also conducted interviews with the parties involved and other witnesses. The information was then turned over to the Washington County Attorney's Office for review. So clearly, this was something that was well investigated for a long time.
Right. Yeah. And so now here we are. I'm always fascinated by these types of situations and hope I never find myself in something similar, like where you're in a position where you got to make a hard decision and it's unclear what to do. It's so easy to make decisions when it's clear what to do. Like that's easy. It's so obvious what I have to do now, so I'll just do that thing. But when it's not clear, think about this. You're this young woman. That's the love of your life, you think. You're planning to spend the rest of your life with this person. You just announced it publicly. Now they're in jail, charged with something serious, but you've never seen that side of them. And they're telling you it didn't happen. Now what? Now what? Now what? You pick it up from there.
I mean, obviously you can't know like their situation, what's going on. Like, but I do. I mean, listen, we've seen situations before where it's, someone's name got dragged and it wasn't true. So, like, right. I think you have to let things play out, but it doesn't sound great.
It doesn't sound great. Like, he'll deal with this however he has to deal with this with attorneys and stuff. But when I saw the story, I immediately went to the perspective of the young woman. What? This was the happiest moment in theory of your life. And it's just, boom, flipped upside down in a very public way. No fault of your own 4 days later. I wish her luck.
Yeah.
I wish her luck. Let's just leave it there.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Rest in peace, James Van Der Beek. What a sad story. 48 years old.
This was extremely sad. I've been following his story for a while now because he's posted a lot on social media. Like, he has kind of shared this cancer journey with people before he passed away. And it's just sad, man. Like, this is going to sound silly, but and he's obviously most famously known for that show Dawson's Creek. I never really watched that. I think my wife watched it when she was younger. But man, I loved and still do the movie Varsity Blues. I was obsessed with that movie because it was that movie was an MTV film. It was like one of the first MTV films, okay? And it played in theaters. And I watched a ton of MTV in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? And so those promos ran a ton, the trailers and everything on MTV. And I was like, I got to see this movie. And I went and saw it opening weekend. And you got to think, this is like before we have access to everything, right? Where we can listen to whatever we want and watch whatever we want whenever we want. You had to plan things out back then. And so I went and saw this movie and I loved it. And the soundtrack was so awesome. And I can remember going to Blockbuster Music and buying the CD, the Varsity Blues soundtrack, and wearing that thing out. And he is, obviously the star of the movie. And so, in a small way, he was like a big part of my childhood.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I didn't connect with it like that, but I obviously understood his story. And then when it flashes up on my computer screen or wherever you see it yesterday, they put the dates up, and the first thing I notice is 1977. That's the year he was born. Same year I was born. And so I just look at that, and, I'm going to be frustrated again just a second. I have to pre-tape some more halftimes for CBS Sports Network, but I just always have these moments where I go, man, what are you complaining about?
Mm-hmm.
Like that guy's younger than me. He had a wife too, kids too. Like, he had friends and family, and he just got dealt an awful hand. Just got dealt an awful, unfair hand. So, none of this will change the world or even me, right? But just, I say this often. I try to remind myself of it. I slip up constantly. But every day that's not the worst day of your life is a pretty good day. Like, if you can ever just hold on to that. And I want to be clear, I'm not good at holding on to that. But I am aware of it. Like, when I put my head on a pillow, I'm aware that every day that isn't the worst day of your life. Every day where you aren't given devastating news. Every day where your fiance isn't charged with felony rape or your 84-year-old mom isn't abducted out of her bed is a pretty good day, right? So I try to keep that in mind when I get frustrated and whatever else. I acknowledge I'm not the best, but trying. Yeah. Just sad stuff. I just said that. I'm looking at his face right now, and I'm just like, what? How's that guy get so lucky? And we're sitting here talking about whatever we're doing. How's that guy not here anymore? But we're here right now.
Right. I know. It's sad, and I saw there was the GoFundMe that was set up for his family because the medical bills, just like and this is a guy that was famous. This is a guy that was famous that had money, supposedly had real money. And, the family is up against it because of his medical bills that he's been dealing with for the past year. It's just sad. Greatest country in the world and all that. Nowhere else I'd rather live. Let me be clear. But it is a stain on our country that too many people work their entire lives and then die broke because they got sick. Yep. You work your entire life to save up money either for you or your children or your grandchildren, and you die broke because you got sick. You shouldn't die broke because you got sick. Nope. Particularly when you weren't broke, when you made real money, when you did real things, like when you contributed. Like, we shouldn't live in a country where too many people die broke because they got sick. Or if you want to take it a step further, where people can't even go to the doctor. Right. Because they don't have insurance. Yeah. Like, we live in a country where some people get sick and they can't get help. Like, I literally know somebody right now, somebody I've had a conversation with in the past week. They are sick. They are sick. They need to be in the doctor. They don't understand how they can go. They don't know what to do. And I talked to them about church health and all this stuff, but it feels so overwhelming and hopeless for so many people. And I don't know. Now we're just rambling. Yeah. But yeah, it appears that James Van Der Beek, despite all the things you've seen him in and all the checks he cashed over the years, did not die a wealthy man. And in part, that's going to be because he got sick. He was unlucky and he got sick. And that's not a unique story in this country. A lot of people work their entire lives. They retire with enough money to get them to the end, and then they get sick, and then it's all gone. And all that money you're going to leave to your daughter or your son or your grandkids, it's just all gone. Just all gone. All right, let's find something better to talk about. Yeah. I sent you that one. So like that's, but it's he that guy just like he's a big part of my youth. Sure. In some way, and so it was a sad story. Yeah, no, it is a sad story. March 8, 1977, gone February 11th, 2026. That's not enough years. Not enough years. Be back with Carry On.
Hey, Grind City, got uninvited house guests? When it comes to bugs, we don't bluff. We Terminex it. Don't let a pest problem spin out of control. Our pest-free 365 Plus plan protects against up to 39 different kinds of pests. Even better, Grizz fans can take $50 off by visiting Terminex.com and enter code SAVE50. Terms apply. With more than 95 years of experience squashing pest issues big and small, we're set to square off against the toughest bugs out.
Jeff Dunham, artificial intelligence, his all new tour.
Just a ham. You're the other white meat. MJ, how can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it. I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Own the 2025-26 Grizzlies season with the 10-game Flex Pack, the ultimate way to catch all the action on your terms. Choose your favorite matchups from intense rivalries to weekend thrillers and customize your pack to fit your schedule. With 10 games to pick, you'll never miss the moments that matter most. Visit Grizzlies.com/packs today to build your perfect ticket pack and cheer on the Grizzlies your way. It's your team, your season, and your schedule. So don't miss out.
Now that's the new edition way.
I feel like there's another level we can take it to.
What you think, Mike?
2 steps ahead of you, Slick.
What's good, bro?
What you doing, man?
I'm in.
Woman, you don't even know what I'm getting ready to ask you.
Here's the vision. All 3 of us on the same stage every night.
Gonna be crazy.
No barriers, no separation.
It'll be like 9 kings and a queen.
The next level starts now.
Nation, you don't have to wait until summer for the ultimate hoops experience with the Junior Grizzlies. Boys and girls ages 6 to 14 can build skills and boost confidence at Junior Grizzlies Spring Camps presented by Ortho South. Find a camp near you and register today at grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies. That's grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies. Let's do carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
Interesting story I stumbled into earlier today. Gary Player, 3-time Masters champion, golf legend. Do you see this?
No.
He released a statement or made a comment, but apparently Gary Player has, grandsons, and they play golf.
Okay.
And he wanted to take them to Augusta National as a 3-time Masters champion. And he said, hey, my grandkids are always asking me about this and that. And just, before it's all over, I just would like to play around with my 3 grandsons at Augusta National. So he, reached out, said, hey, I'd like to bring my grandsons down, just play around at Augusta National as a 3-time Masters champion with my 3 grandsons. Be a memory forever for everybody. And what do you think they said?
No.
They said no.
That is so lame.
I mean, what? Here's the quote. I have been an ambassador for Augusta for all these years, yet they won't let me have one round of golf in my life with my 3 grandsons. My grandsons are dying to know about their grandfather's episodes on that golf course. All the golf courses that have hosted the Open, the U.S. Open, and the PGA would oblige, but they won't do it at Augusta. It is just this current management there, but these are the times we live in, and I accept it, but I accept it with sadness. It's just, who does it hurt for Gary Player and 3 other people to go walk around Augusta National for 4 hours?
And maybe listen, maybe they don't care about negative PR, but what do you think Gary Player's going to do when you tell him no to that? He's going to go tell people, and it's going to be a story and carry out.
Bennett, why are you smarter than the people who run Augusta National?
I mean, it's just it's so dumb. What does it hurt?
This is exactly the way it should have gone down. You're in charge of this. You're in charge, and you're the person who can say yes or no. Mm-hmm. And you get the call from Gary Player, and you're the one that can say yes or no. And you say, hey, Gary Player, let me call you back. And then you get your sidekick in there with you, and you say, hey, listen, what do you think about this? I just got a call from Gary Player, 3-time Masters champion. He wants to play Augusta next week with his 3 grandsons. I don't think we should, and I don't want to, but what do you think? And this is the part where you're supposed to say, hey, listen, I hear you, but if you say no to this, it will become a public story, and it will be not good for us. So let's just say yes, because it's so much cleaner to just say yes and not a big deal. If we say no, it's going to become this. So you don't say no because you don't want it to become this. That's exactly how that conversation should have gone.
Yep. Silly.
Bennett, I got to get you down to Augusta National. You could help them down there.
Yeah, you definitely do.
What's today's biggest game?
Oh, we're going to the American. We're going to the American. It's American basketball tonight. 8 o'clock in the Super Pit. Memphis at North Texas. ESPN. Tigers are 1.5-point favorites on the road. Total 136.5. Do it. Do it. Pick 'em.
It's a no-brainer. GTG, destroy the pit. I don't know.
Destroy the super pit. New Mexico has the pit. This is the super pit.
Yeah, let's go pee on the super pit tonight.
It's time to pee on the super pit.
Right in the middle of the court.
All right, Ben. I don't know. We got to urinate in the super pit, but I enjoy the sentiment. I like where your head's at. -1.5. Bennett says lay it.
Yeah.
Tigers tonight, 8 o'clock on ESPN.
What are we watching on TV?
Hey, Cat Williams has a new stand-up special that dropped on Netflix.
CJ was talking about it out there.
I think this is what I'm gonna do on my flight home today.
Yeah.
I think I could either sit around and think about how sad the James Van Der Beek story is, or I could laugh with Cat Williams. I think I'm gonna laugh with Cat Williams.
I'm gonna watch it too. I kind of want to go to his stand-up special here.
He's hilarious and he's funny.
Yes.
I guess hilarious and funny is redundant. Hilarious and like smart. Like those are my favorite kind of people. Are people who I think can make me laugh and make me think. Those are the people I enjoy. Like, can you make me think and make me laugh? That's who I want to listen to. So like Dave Chappelle, he can make me think and make me laugh. I like him. Cat Williams, he can make me think, he can make me laugh. I like him. Norm Macdonald was always the great. Like he can make you think, make you laugh. I like him. So yeah, Cat Williams is great. I'm gonna. You know what?
You said Netflix?
No, I'm gonna download it right now. I'm gonna let you watch me do it. We're now known right now.
Cool. I'm in.
Right, let's go.
I'll check it out too. Yeah, let's do it.
What's the best thing we've read?
Top 25 and 1 has been updated. It was mostly a quiet night in basketball last night outside of that Jerome Tang press conference, but Michigan did come from 16 down to win at Northwestern. They play UCLA at home this weekend. If they win that, they will move to number 1 in the AP poll on Monday. You can read about all that in the top 25 and 1. It's at CBSSports.com right now. What, Bennett? What you pointing at me?
Well, we got another dub last night with Alabama blasting Ole Miss on the road.
You are on a roll, Bennett. You'll update you on your record?
Yes.
Let's see here. You are now 305, 262, and 4 plus 11.4. You're plus 11.4. You're doing it. You're picking games. I'm right in the top 25 and 1. Cat Williams has got a new special. Hey, we're moving in the right direction.
Love it.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Okay, tomorrow's Friday. You might remember we worked on Martin Luther King Day. That's a national holiday. We worked on that day.
Company holiday, too.
Company holiday, too. And so I guess this is a way of giving back the day.
I believe
this is my way of saying we're not going to have shows tomorrow. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
We are not.
We're not going to have shows tomorrow. So I ain't going to be here, to quote Magic Johnson.
We're going to pregame for the Rising Stars Challenge tomorrow, all day long.
We're going to pregame all day for the Rising Stars Challenge. Bennett's going to watch everything with All-Star Weekend.
Yep.
I'm not going to watch any of it.
You better have my segment ready on Monday.
I'm on principle. I'm not watching a second of this. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. I mean, listen, I'm online.
I'm watching for you.
I'm online, so I'm going to see things.
Mm-hmm.
But there will not be a television in my house ever on anything to do with All-Star Weekend on principle. Until the players show me they care, I'm not going to care. Until you care about this thing, I'm not going to care about this thing. I'm not going to care about something you tell me you don't care about. So here's the plan. We're going to pregame all day tomorrow for the Rising Stars Challenge. And then I am not going to watch the Rising Stars Challenge, and you can do whatever you want. Then I'm going to have my weekend. You're going to have your weekend. We're going to come back in here on Monday, and I'm going to do, hey there, I'm going to do all the stupid shit I do. And then I'm going to look right at you, face to face, and I'm going to say, so Bennett, how was All-Star Weekend? And then we're just going to, and if you can tell me it was amazing, I'm going to express regret for having not experienced it and promise to dive back in next season.
I can't wait.
But if you tell me it sucked again, I'm going to say, yeah. Of course it did.
I'm going to be completely honest, too. I'm not going to come in here knowing that I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be completely honest about this with you.
Okay. So we already, hey, Monday's show is prepped, all right?
Okay.
We'll throw in some Tiger basketball stuff, and we'll see what's going on with Nancy Guthrie. But Monday's show is basically prepped.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Gary Parrish. 5 more things. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. The All-Star game was this weekend. Bennett, how was it? That's where we'll pick up on Monday.
Good.
All right. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to try to enjoy mine. Let's meet back here Monday at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.